What up, man? This is Brendan Boyd. I'm with Mike Schulte,
What's going
NYC,
on?
on Instagram. This dude, if you haven't already seen him, he been doing this thing on the gram, creating a ton of content, and he was nice enough to like literally give me an hour of his time. I was on the way to New York today, and I just hit him up in the car. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but whatever.
We won't tell anybody. We weren't doing it in the car.
And then and then
I didn't hit him back in the car. I wasn't driving when I hit him back. No.
And then this dude literally just shot him a video, shot me a video back. I told him I was pulling up to New York and I would love to meet him and just kind of build a connect. And I'm here. I'm in the office. You know? And we've been talking about a bunch of real estate stuff and some art stuff and just creating content and expanding your business, man. So just want to say definitely thank you for that.
My
Number
pleasure.
one.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and just in terms of you being in the real estate space, what gets you up? Why are you so passionate about what you're doing?
Because most of my competition sucks, and I know I can build something that nobody else is building right now. There is essentially no brokerage house or team, or I don't want to say individual because that may be an odd example out, that operates on both the residential and commercial side of the business.
Yeah.
There are very few brokers who will comfortably go into a $1 million pitch in sweatpants and Yeezys. And there are essentially no brokers that'll do it, video it, put on the internet while using a whole bunch of expletives.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am.
Yeah.
Like that's how we are. That's
Yeah.
how we talk. Right, so because we go to work, or we're supposed to stop being who we are. Yeah, like I don't buy that. And if somebody is so offended, they don't want to do business with me as a byproduct. I love it. I'm happy when that happens. Like I'm genuinely happy because I'm like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Like they just self-filtered themselves out of my life, so they don't get to work with me. And it's crazy. It's scary. It's scary to have the audacity to do things like that. But, I mean, in the last 2 years, like, the return has been fucking incredible. Like, yesterday, I was at a pitch which I'm probably going to get, for a almost $3 million multifamily in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it all came from Instagram. And I I was in a sweatshirt, sweats, and sneakers.
I mean, obviously expected you to come that way anyway.
So I didn't know, and this is one of the situations where it's a little funky. So the person I connected with connected me with one of his partners.
Okay.
So I was like, listen, I'm hoping that like at least they gave him a heads up that like I'm not like coming in a suit and gonna be, how are you doing today? No, it's not me.
Yeah.
Small world. The partner that I met, she actually went to the same high school that I did.
Oh, nice.
So it's just, I mean, Brooklyn's a small world, as big as it is. So you listen, like you never know. And at the end of the day, they don't want to hire me and they want to go with somebody else. That's fine. But like my record speaks for itself. Like I continuously set records, pretty much on everywhere I go, because most of this business is undermarketed from a variety of perspectives. I mean, from we can talk as simple as like the way agents take pictures to as advanced as targeting specifically make content at a specific subset because you believe that they're going to buy or rent the product. So it all.
That's true. That's true. Like literally, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
So we were talking real quickly about those smart homes that I have down there in Dorchester, in a neighborhood in Boston. And since I'm out here, obviously I couldn't show it today, right?
Right.
And it's pre-construction, so they're literally doing the interior. But I had a colleague of mine bring some customers by.
Yeah.
And we thought that we prepped them, because it's kind of like when it's Dorchester. I mean, this particular pocket, it could be the hood, or when I grew up it was the hood, but all the areas are gentrifying, so it's different, right?
Yeah.
So we thought that we kind of prepped her about
walking into a
walking into it, and she pulled up and she was like, I don't want to live here, so she didn't even give it a chance. But it kind of goes to what you're saying, like, if me being in charge of this project, like one of my tasks is now to communicate that messaging to clients, to let them know this is what the neighborhood's about, this is the look and feel of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're looking to set a record, you always have to be able to sell a vision.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially asking someone to pay future valuation based off of the fact that there is something unique to what you have
Yeah.
that you believe will longer term continue to appreciate.
And not all buyers think like that.
Most buyers
Yeah,
don't.
They don't. Like
Most
they
buyers
don't see it, or they can't even, like, even when you're in the space, it's
Mhm.
harder to tell. So
No,
based so
100%.
yeah, so if you're in the neighborhood, it's that much harder to tell.
Right, if you're
Yeah.
not even inside the door.
100%. Yeah.
I agree totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely kind of funny how that is. But if you do have the vision, that's
Mhm.
when you end up taking advantage of when that area skyrockets.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been doing this for almost 9 years now. And I've set records in a variety of different neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about New York that's unique is New York is made up of 5 boroughs, right? And a borough is geographically and population wise pretty much any other major city in New York. So like Brooklyn is, I think Brooklyn is actually slightly larger than Boston on a population and geographic basis,
Mhm.
right? So there are very few brokers who play in multiple
Multiple
boroughs.
boroughs. Yeah.
So like the fact that my team covers Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens
Mm-hmm.
just expands our ability a lot further. Now, as you go deeper into Brooklyn and Queens, now I'm not talking about like the neighborhoods that are right on the water, so not like Long Island City and Brooklyn Heights that
Mhm.
have these beautiful views of the city, but when you go deeper into the boroughs and it's more suburbish,
Yeah.
right? Still along the subway,
Yeah.
because that's one of the things that we definitely stay to. We won't go to neighborhoods that are not connected to a subway. It just doesn't make sense. You
Mhm.
just won't see gentrification in New York.
Yeah.
It's just the way the city is run. I mean, I've set records years ago that still haven't been surpassed in multiple neighborhoods in the city. And it all becomes as a byproduct of being able to sell the vision as what it is, what it'll become. And so much of what I've done for the last 9 years makes it easier for me to tell a developer, this is just going to be.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
Yeah.
well, there's no comps to justify it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're absolutely right, there's no comps. But you have me.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my comps. Here's this record, here's
Yeah.
this record, here's this record, here's this neighborhood, here's last time I told you to buy this and you told me it was too expensive,
Yeah.
and now you would love to buy it at that price.
That literally just happened to me, man.
Yeah.
Like I tried to sell this client this multifamily in Dorchester.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted, I think, 5 1/4 for it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't buy it. It's on. They just put it back on 3 weeks ago for 8.8.
Mm-hmm.
Same neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, a year later.
Yep.
It's crazy. So
Yeah.
she would have bought that. She would have had the equity sitting.
She could have
would've
bought
made
something
money.
else.
Yeah. Pulled it
Yeah.
out. You know.
Yeah.
Bought something else.
Buy another one.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. It's the ability. Being a New Yorker and having been here my whole life, I have a very obviously unique perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw New York as a fucked up, shitty city. Like, New York wasn't always what it is. New York in the late 80s and 90s and early 90s was...
I remember pulling up 195 probably when like early 90s. Nothing but trash on the highway.
Yeah,
You know
it's changed a lot. But as a byproduct, like I've seen people move. I've seen neighborhoods change. I've seen it just feel different. And as a byproduct and having now 9 years of real estate experience and all of that coupled together, I'm in a very unique position to win because there's really nobody doing better than me. Like there are some there's only one other broker in New York City that has a full-time videographer.
Yeah.
But he tells a very scripted TV story, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Yeah.
It's not to knock him. He does amazing. Puts up a lot more money than me today. But I think that'll change. I think inside of a few years, while I don't have the desire to be number one in New York City, because I just don't want the stress and headaches that go along with it, I think it'll be very clear that I become one of the voices of New York.
Yeah.
Because the way we consume is changing.
Yeah.
You know, we're not watching TV. Like, if you think about how much TV you watched 5 years ago versus how much TV you watch today.
Yeah. You're lucky if you catch it out. You know
Yeah. And you're not watching with any commercials. You're probably illegally streaming it.
Yeah.
Or you're watching something you downloaded that somebody, like, it's just the nature of what it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're still consuming as much.
Yeah.
We're just spending it on our phones, on Instagram, or Snapchat,
Yeah.
or LinkedIn,
Yeah.
or wherever the hell it is. And I just play everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I believe, and this is a little different than what I hear some other people talk about. I believe as long as the piece of content is appropriate for the network. So, like, obviously there's a difference between Instagram and Facebook. The way the videos are, it's widescreen versus square, right? Square videos still play well on Facebook, but not the other way around, right? So as long as you're working well on the network, I don't see anything wrong with taking that same piece of content and distributing it to multiple networks, as long as it's applicable.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm talking about rest in peace Craig Mack, I'm probably not going to share that on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I'll share that on Facebook. I'll share that on YouTube. I'll share that on not LinkedIn. I'll share that on Snapchat. I'll share that on Instagram. I'll share that on Twitter.
So most of the content, like what you would be posting on a gram, for instance, video, you could just translate that on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Simple.
I do. Yeah. Generally. Because generally what I'll do is because Snapchat has swipe up capabilities built in, I'll just link it out to drive additional traffic then to YouTube. Yeah. Or wherever it's coming from. But the reason I'll take the content and put it in the multiple places, because like if you spend most of your time on Instagram and you're really not on Facebook, and I'm just putting shit on Facebook, I'm gonna miss you. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna miss you anyway, just because I don't fall into your feed. It's just the way the algorithm is, and that's okay. But like for me, I don't want to miss somebody because I'm only playing here, and here. So like I'll download all the newest apps like Vero and Musical.ly and House Party and Anchor and fuck around with them. Yeah. There hasn't been one recently that's like caught me and been like, I need to fuck with this. But there probably will be. And what we use now, I'd be willing to bet in 3 or 4 years.
Gonna be obsolete? Or
one of them.
Phased out?
One of Facebook, Facebook and Instagram aren't going anywhere. I do believe Facebook in time may get replaced by something else. But because Mark Zuckerberg is a very smart person, he may just end up buying whatever that else is and adding it the same way he bought Instagram. You know, because he understands attention. I think as more and more 18 to 35s care less and less about Facebook, they're going to experience problems in the 5 to 7 year range as a byproduct. I could be wrong. Who am I? What do I know? Yeah. But just what I believe. But I think if you look at Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, in 3 to 5 years, one of those don't exist. Without a doubt. Maybe 2.
I'm trying to think. Which one did I used to use? Well, I definitely use Snap. Definitely use Snap, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I feel like there was something that I used to use I don't use anymore.
Vine?
Oh, yeah, the Vine. Yeah, don't fuck with Vine.
Well, now they're coming out with Vine 2.
Really?
Yeah. Which my guess is they'll extend the time into what you can do, and then it's no different than Instagram stories.
Developers?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
that should be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, a reboot of social media hasn't really happened yet.
Yeah. That's
you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see someone try to do the same thing with MySpace at some point.
Yeah. I mean, didn't they reboot MySpace to just be music?
Yes, I mean it does exist in that capacity, but right. I'm talking about more from like an actual network that people globally significantly use.
Yeah. What about WhatsApp?
I mean, WhatsApp is more of like a text message alternative. At least from what I've seen.
I heard. I could be wrong, but I thought that they're allowing you to share content on that platform too, like storytelling. I haven't storytell on WhatsApp.
Maybe I haven't seen it. I haven't.
I mean, I only use it like you said, the text and
I really only use it with like internationals. Yeah. Because everybody else just normally texts me. So like when somebody WhatsApps me, I'm like, okay. Listen, I think the platform is irrelevant. I think ultimately we're going to see a shift to people consuming like trusted individuals. Like that's what you're going to get your stuff from. You're like, oh, Mike said it. It's got to be true. Yeah. You know,
it's literally just like your friends.
Yeah.
Like for me, people text me, call me about whatever. Yeah. They feel like I just have the answer, or at least I could give them a resource or something.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
I think you're right about that for sure.
I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of time before we see a lot of technology eat up a lot of what we know right now.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm good.
I agree, man. Definitely just want to thank you for the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
My pleasure.
It was great to shoot your shit with you.
Sounds good.
Talk about whatever, Next time I'm in New York, I'll definitely pull up.
Sounds good.